Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I'm using Altenew products, creating a tag with a partial stenciled background. So let's get started. I'm using the Build-A-Garden scripted in bloom set for my focal point. I've got the stamp set, the coordinating stencils and the die set. I'm placing a panel of Classic Crest 110 solar white cardstock into my stamp wheel. I can then place my stamp on top. I'm then bringing in the top flip plate of the stamp wheel, popping that in place to pick up that stamp. I can then flip that over and ink up my image using Obsidian pigment ink. This is a really lovely dark crisp black ink. It is a pigment ink, so it does take a couple of minutes to dry, but compared to other pigment inks on the market, it is really quite quick at drying. So I'm just inking up that stamp really well with the ink. I can then flip over that plate, pop it in place to transfer that ink onto the cardstock. And I'm just using my fingers just to work a way around that image. I can then lift that off, and there was a couple of areas that weren't perfect for me, so I am just going to ink up the stamp again. I do tend to do this most times, but sometimes I can get away with one stamp. I'm then stamping that down again. And that is the great thing about the stamp wheel. You can stamp it multiple times and it will always be in the same place. So I'm happy with the second round of stamping. And usually I tend to just let this ink dry on its own because, like I say, it does dry fairly quickly. But I am going to die cut this out first. So I just want to make sure that my ink is completely dry. So just using my heat tool there to set that ink. And now I can bring in the coordinating die. I'm placing that over the image and holding it down with some low tack tape. I am using quite a lot of tape here, probably a little bit more than I usually would. The cardstock did warp just slightly with that heat tool, and I want to make sure that this die doesn't shift while I run it through my die cutting machine. So I can just pop that out and then I can place it down onto my sticky mat. That's going to hold it in place while I do my ink blending on top. And it's also going to hold the stencils down as well. So I can bring in the first stencil here, kind of hover that in place. Once I'm happy with the position, I can press that down and that's going to stick onto that mat. And this is the great thing about die cutting first, because you've got that space around the image, the stencils are going to hold in place. I can now bring in the first ink, and I'm using the Aqualicious colour from the Sweet Dreams Fresh Dye ink collection. I'm using a mini ink blending brush. I do tend to dab off the excess ink from my brush. That helps me make sure that I get a really nice smooth blend with my ink blending. I've kind of got into the habit of doing that. I am trying to remember to lift that ink back up so that I reuse it, but sometimes I do forget to do that. I'm just going in really with a flat layer of colour here. I want my tag to look quite graphic in nature. Because of the background that I'm just doing kind of black and white. It ends up looking quite graphic, and I thought that just having the flat layer of colour would work quite nicely here. So just going over all of those areas there with my ink blending brush. I can then remove that tape there that was covering the leaves, just in case I got any ink where I didn't want it, and then I can lift up that stencil. I can then reposition that stencil for the other two images there at the bottom. And I was just going to place it down on top, but I knew that some of the area kind of overlapping where that stenciled area was that I just did was on those leaves, and I wasn't sure if I was going to accidentally get ink where I didn't want it on the back of the stencil. So I'm just bringing in a piece of scrap paper there just to cover up that area in case there is any ink on the back of that stencil. It's probably unlikely, but just to be on the safe side, I would prefer to do that. I could absolutely just clean the stencil in between, but I was being a bit lazy here. I can now go in with the second layer of the ink blending, and I'm using Teal Cave Fresh Dye ink. This is the next shade up in the Sweet Dreams Fresh Dye ink collection. Again, using that mini blending brush, and again just going in with flat colour here. Because I'm going over the areas that I've already stenciled, it is going to automatically make this darker anyway, even though this is a darker shade of ink. I want to make sure that there is some difference between the two shades of ink. So I moved on to the second stencil here, and I can colour in the flower centres. And for this I'm using the Golden Sunset Fresh Dye ink collection. I started off with Sunray, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of chamomile just to the bottoms of those centres. I thought that I would just do a little bit of shading for the flower centres. I'm then just going to remove that excess ink from the stencil with a cloth, just to make sure that I don't accidentally pick up the ink while I'm doing the next lot of ink blending, which is for the leaves. I'm just going to cover up those areas as well, just to make sure that I don't accidentally get green ink in them. And then I can go in now with the Green Valley Fresh Dye ink collection, and I'm starting off with Firefly, and again I'm just doing flat ink blending here. This stencil is great because it does half of the leaves at a time, so for one half of the leaves I'm using the lighter shade, and then for the next half of the leaves I'm going to use the darker shade. There was an area here at the top on this stencil that didn't quite end up flat, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to use my finger here just to hold that down. I'd rather accidentally get a little bit of ink on my finger than ink where I don't want it on my image. So again, just going in with that mini blending brush. I did use the micro blending brush on the flower centres just because the area was a little bit smaller. So I can now lift off that stencil, and then for this one I did decide to clean it in between, and then I can place it back down for the other half of these leaves. And for this I'm using the Grassfield Fresh Dye ink. And again, just making sure that this is quite a lot darker than the other shade, just so that there's some difference between them. So I am kind of going in with a heavier hand here. I'm not dabbing off the excess ink, I'm just going in with a few layers of this ink instead. And then I can lift off that stencil, and I think that looks really nice. To remove it from the sticky mat, I'm just going to pick up the sticky mat, and then that's just going to lift off really nicely. I have cut 2 tags from the Terrific Tags die set. This is one of the larger tags, and I've cut those from Classic Crest 110 Solar White cardstock. I'm then placing my image on top, and I think it looks really nice, but I haven't got the hole there at the top if I cover it over with this image. So what I thought I would do is to do a little bit of partial die cutting. I could absolutely just cut a hole in the top of this image with a hole punch, but it's not going to match the tag underneath. So I'm using the tag underneath as a guide of where to place this tag die on top. I can then hold it down with some low tack tape, and then when I run it through my die cutting machine, I'm just going to do some partial die cutting. So I'm only going to cut the top part of this tag. So I've placed it down onto my cutting mats. I'm using my old Cuttlebug die cutting machine here, but any die cutting machine will work. I'm kind of running it through slightly, which is the benefit of using my old Cuttlebug, because I can run it through a little bit easier than some of the other die cutting machines, just because the plates are a little bit smaller. I'm then rotating the tag here so that I make sure that I cut that top diagonal corner of the tag. I can then run it through my die cutting machine, and anything that was underneath that plate is going to cut. Anything that wasn't isn't going to cut. So it's a great way to kind of do partial die cutting, especially if you just want to cut a very small portion of an image like I'm doing here. I can then remove that tape, and then when I lift that up you can see that it's just cut that top corner and then also the hole there on the tag, which is what I wanted the most. I could have easily just cut that kind of corner off with some scissors, but it would have been quite difficult for me to get that hole the exact same size as the tag underneath. I think it looks nice as is, but I do want to add a little bit of interest to the background. So I'm going to do some selective stenciling with the Daydreams Doodles stencil set. I'm just using the crosses in one of the stencils. So I've placed my tag back down onto my sticky mat and I've got my image there on top. And I'm just going to use that as a guide to where I want to add my stenciling. So I'm using these crosses here and I'm just going to kind of rotate the stencil to see what I think looks nice. I just want a few of these crosses around the flowers, just so it kind of looks like something's kind of popping out from behind it, but I don't want to cover the entire tag with these. I think that the dots would look really nice, or even the stars as well, but I quite liked having a lot of the white space still showing and just having a few of these crosses. I'm just going for black and white here for my background. Like I say, I'm going for more of a graphic look today. So I've got the jet black fresh dye ink and my mini blending brush, and I've just added some ink over the top of those two crosses. I have masked off the other crosses that are around it just to be on the safe side in case I accidentally add ink again where I don't want it. I can then peel off that tape. I am making sure to try and clean off this stencil with my cloth as I go, because I don't want to clean it properly, but I want to make sure that because I'm going to reuse this multiple times in different orientations, that I haven't got ink and I might accidentally smear any ink onto my tag. So I can bring back my image here, then I can rotate this stencil again, figure out where I want some crosses to be in the bottom right hand corner, and then once I'm happy I can press that stencil down onto the sticky mat. That's going to hold it in place while I add that masking tape over the top. In this instance, it wouldn't really matter if I did add a few extra crosses because the image is going to cover them up, but I just found it easier just to try and know where I want to focus that ink blending. So I can bring back that jet black ink and fill in these crosses here at the bottom. And I am just trying to go in circular motions just to make sure that I get all of those nooks and crannies of that stencil. And then I can work here in the bottom left hand corner. I am just going to add two of the crosses here. It's such a tiny area, but I still wanted there to be some interest here as well. Again, mask that off with the tape, remove those flowers, and then I can bring in the ink. And then again, bring back those flowers, work out where I want the next lot to be here in the top left hand corner. Trying to remember my left and right there. The top left hand corner. Mask off the other areas with that tape. Remove those flowers and then bring in that ink again. And then I can lift that off, and it looks a little bit odd here at this moment in time, but once I add the flowers on top it is going to look really nice. I can then add some glue tape onto the back of the other tag, and then I'm going to add that onto the back of the stenciled one. This is just going to add some stability to the tag, especially if I'm using it as a standalone tag. Want to make sure that that thickness is quite nice of that cardstock, and it always does just make it look a little bit neater on the back of the tag as well. I can then add some instant dimension foam tape onto the back of the image. I want to make sure that I'm not adding it around the outside edges because the flowers are going to overlap the sides of the tag. I want to make sure that you don't see the foam tape on the back. So I'm kind of just using the tag as a guide there. Although it is flipped over, it did still give me a somewhat guide to where to place this foam tape. I can then remove the backings off of that foam tape, and then I can place that down onto the tag. And I just found it easier here to do it sideways rather than vertical. So once I've got it in the right position, I can press that down. And then I flipped that over and then realised that you could still see a little bit of the foam tape showing. So I'm just going to bring in my craft knife here and I'm just going to cut that down. Just make sure that you don't go too far into the cardstock, obviously, so you don't want to cut the cardstock, you just want to cut the foam tape. And then I can use my tweezers just to push that underneath that tag. I can then add some twine through the top of the tag. Just secure that in place and then I can tie that in a bow. And then I'm just going to take my time here just to fiddle those tails and the bow to get it exactly how I want it to be. It did get a little bit twisted. And then once I'm happy with how it's looking, I can just make sure that I have the size that I want. And then I can cut those tails down with some scissors. And then I have stamped and heat embossed a sentiment from the Twin Blooms stamp set onto some Crafty Necessities jet black cardstock. I've cut that down into a strip and then I've adhered that down with some more instant dimension foam tape. And so that is the tag finished for today. I really love the graphic look with the just plain layers of the stenciling for the flowers and the leaves, and then that kind of subtle detail in the background with the crosses and the partial stenciling. Links to the products that I used will be listed in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.